is Daniel, and this is 270 Videos.
Welcome back. It's Brendan Borman, and today I'll be playing 270 and showing you multiple games from this past week. In the first game, I am George Washington with the William McKinley Vice President, as is my opponent, Alexander Deutsch, who is the relative of Mark Penn, the political analyst, and the creator of 270. He is currently the Chief Operating Officer of the game, and he made a detrimental mistake on turn number 1 by hedging his national groups. We did conflict in Big Conservative, and now on turn 3, after a 0 spin on turn 2, I can go up 5 pips and for sure get the Big Conservative bonus in that $77,000 cash per turn bonus. I can now freely open up in evangelicals, and what I will also do, since I have more than $125,000, is I will open up in the classic Old South states. If I'm able to secure Old South with George Washington, I will get a $70,000 per turn bonus. So this should snowball. I have zero reason not to defend Big Conservative. I can delay going up in the Old South, and we can see what Alexander chooses to do. He does only go up in gun lobby, which is smart, pivoting away from Big Conservative, and he will get that small bonus of $50K per turn. However, now I can get evangelicals, and I can defend my Big Conservative. I have no reason not to, and I do expect Alexander to go for it, which he does foolishly, but that's okay. We did meet in the public lobby. Alexander and I do talk about the game 270. I offer him feedback on candidates as well as the direction of the game. However, this is the first time, to my knowledge, that I've ever played Alexander. He did tell me in the most recent Town Hall video, which will be coming out shortly on the channel, that Mark Penn, in fact, does play on his account under the name Alexander Deutsch, or A. Deutsch. And so look out for A. Deutsch in the lobby, and if you happen to beat A. Deutsch, send a picture of a screenshot to the feedback message, and you might just win a prize. I am going to defend evangelicals by 1 pip. However, that's not enough, but I can still get the swing state bonus, which is a whopping $120,000 per turn. I still have the Old South funds rolling in, and now I can go after manufacturing. I could go to Texas. Washington, of course, has a huge manufacturing bonus, and McKinley gives him a 75% bonus with the vice president. But you know, I have so many bonuses working toward Hangman, I might as well just go for that route first. Washington does pivot over to Texas, and he enters into New York, which is a bit puzzling. Washington is more of a Texas player, and then if you have to choose, Florida and then California. But I'm not going to let Alexander have these national groups. Let's go ahead and flip evangelicals back to us, and then we are also going to take gun lobby. So this game is going to go to us rather quickly. We now have African American on our side, since we had all those Old South states and the state of Florida. We had clashed in Illinois previously, but now I can go up in it. And then let's get into Tennessee, Indiana, and Kentucky. Let Alexander go ahead and flip gun lobby. Doesn't matter to us anymore. Small defenses in North Carolina. But with the addition of Pennsylvania and Tennessee to manufacturing, there it is. There's the $131,000 of money that I can use to pressure into Texas. And I have AA money I can pressure into New York. I just have to defend Illinois and North Carolina. And actually, let's just lock North Carolina because we have so much Old South and swing state money. Texas, he does go up to the 3rd pip. However, he does not earn a bonus. New players, if you're watching this, there is no reason to spend $200,000 in a state like California or Texas if it does not warrant you a bonus, especially if you are not just entering a state, if you're going up to the 3rd pip. I can go and use some of my other additional African-American funds in D.C. and Delaware. And then just for giggles, let's go ahead and flip gun lobby back to Team Yellow. Washington goes up in New York. Again, that's Alexander for no reason. And this game is pretty much over, so let's enter into as many states as possible. This is a 1-minute timer, so I likely am not going to get all the states completed. However, I got everything west of the Mississippi River. It did turn out that Alexander forfeited, and the final score is 505-0. Good game. Game number 2, I am FDR taking on a base Ronald Reagan, a Dan Crenshaw, an RR84, and a Nikki Haley. I do not know any of these players. I recognize Das, D-A-S-S, as RR84, but I don't remember from memory if he's a good player or if I just remember that because I've seen him quite frequently in the lobby. So I did choose a Democratic candidate. This is another candidate with a good vice president. I could have chosen someone that would have given me a higher labor and environment bonus, but I like the versatility that this vice president provides me. So we did clash in youth vote, which is unfortunate. However, I have free reign in labor and environment. So Rockefeller will give me that 60% labor, as Crenshaw does go up in national groups. We have 2 different Ronald Reagans again. We have the base Reagan as well as RR84. We have 0 electors on turn number 2. And we are going to make the decision to go after youth vote. I could go up 1 extra pip. However, I am going to go after the Old South. We have both Texas and California occupied. New York is occupied, and likely Florida will be shortly. Big conservative is 1 pipped by Crenshaw. And so far, so good, uncontested in the Old South. And youth vote is ours successfully. So pretty good turn number 3. Gun lobby is secured by Nikki Haley, and that's 2 bonuses for Crenshaw. Turn number 4, since we have it uncontested, let's go up in the Old South. And Arizona still has that swing state glitch, counts for double, so we want to get in there. And then let's leave Florida alone 1 more turn. We don't have enough to get swing states on the following turn anyway, so I don't want to show all of my cards. New York is overspent to the 4th pip, which may be some preemptive defense, and we are facing pressure in the Old South. So let's use our bonus money to enter into a couple other states. And then really swing states is going to be the priority this turn. So Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, and Nevada are some of the swing states we're not in. I'm going to leave North Carolina and Virginia alone for the moment, as well as Iowa. Florida is the big one that's uncontested. We did get in there. We did clash in Pennsylvania, however, and Virginia is locked. So we won't be able to get into Virginia until that player is eliminated, if they do get eliminated. So let's go ahead and get into North Carolina, Michigan, and then 3rd pip up to Arizona, New Hampshire, Nevada. Will that be enough? Yes, we do have Georgia as well. So African American is going to be the next priority. Let's spend some free cash in D.C. as well as Tennessee. Tennessee is more of a pressure, as we do have a 10-pip clash in Connecticut, which will help us. Illinois is uncontested for RR84. We are pressuring North Carolina, as Reagan does have to go up to the 4th pip in Texas. However, he does get manufacturing, and there's our swing state bonus. So now Pennsylvania, we're going to go to the 4th pip or 5th pip. We don't want to go to the 3rd pip just in case there is a clash. We'd be wasting those funds. Now would be the perfect time to enter into Virginia with my 22.5 Old South money. However, it's already locked, so we're going to save that. Crenshaw does save and flip California, as we do get Pennsylvania uncontested, and we did get Tennessee to overspend slightly. It's turn 8. We only have 130 EVs, but that's still pretty good in the current game. There are players such as Haley down with 32 or 75, 54. So even though we're not that close to a ballot, I'm spreading my wings, which I often do in multiplayers matches, to get into as many states as early as possible to give me some versatility if I need to pivot for electorals. I also have that labor and environment bonus, and so that free cash will help me without the bonuses. And big conservatives locked. California is a tie that stays in Crenshaw's hands for this turn, but that will force him to spin their next turn. We do have a clash in Kansas, so since there's a clash, I'll go ahead and skip. And now I need to defend Arizona. I could lock it, but we're going to take a small risk and just go to the 8th pip, not use any of our free cash. I have $82,000 of Old South. Alabama is already locked. I could just go into Arkansas. And like I mentioned, it was a risk. We did not lock Arizona, and those EVs do fall. So that probably will eliminate any chance of a ballot on the first ballot, a victory on the first ballot, I should say. But you don't always have to win on the first ballot. You can play it more aggressively or more conservatively. I'm going to lean the conservative route this time. So Iowa is juicy for a steal with the swing state money. I don't have many other places I could put it. I could dump it into Pennsylvania. California looks like it's still having some fireworks. The Iowa steal works. More pressure in Louisiana. Here's some pressure in Maryland. So in response to us getting to so many states and all of the colored states being shown on the map, players are beginning to worry about a ballot around the corner, and they're entering the states that we just entered into. Let's go ahead and skip turn 10. We're up to 220 electorals, which is good for first. We are also locked in with the most bonuses. And my goal this turn is to lock all of the oil and gas states. That would give me the minimum for the bonus. But it looks like Crenshaw went for the Alaska steal, so we do have a lock. Colorado is successful. New Mexico and Louisiana were the other ones. Louisiana was successful. We did lose Mississippi, but now eyes are on New Mexico, and it is locked. So as long as we can keep Wyoming or South Dakota or Alaska, we will keep the oil and gas bonus. Wisconsin does flip also to Reagan. There goes West Virginia, and there goes Wyoming. So we need Alaska in order to get the oil and gas bonus. Should we get one of the oil giants, I should preface. Right now we do not have California or Texas. So that's just setting us up for the end game. Illinois is now lost, but that's okay. We'll likely get that back. Nikki Haley is trying to just nickel and dime her way to the next round. And it looks like Crenshaw does survive. So Nikki Haley will be eliminated in last place. Now we can lock Ohio. We have the swing state money that can go up in Georgia. And then we're going to double pip empty states. Try to get another ballot. Illinois is locked by RR84, who has the manufacturing funds to do so. Missouri is uncontested, so we will not have to spend any free cash there. New Jersey is pressured, and there's another clash from Reagan in Ohio. We're only spending $50K. He's spending more than that. And we'll make that trade every day of the week. And Washington is uncontested for the other Reagan. So turn 13 is in the books. It looks like Crenshaw is the low man as we head into the next ballot. Again, I'm locking Ohio. Indiana, Kentucky to the 3rd pip. New Jersey to the 3rd pip. Some high EV states. We can use our swing state money to lock Iowa. Still no pressure from any of the remaining opponents in Pennsylvania. And we did lose Indiana to Crenshaw. Kentucky to Reagan, Montana to RR84. A clash in New Jersey, which will give RR84 those electorals. We maintain Ohio. Eyes on Tennessee. And Texas we are now entered into. So that gives us options for later. Big conservative now goes over to RR84. California is completely free. We're going to 1-pip. And let's go for Michigan. Have a gut feeling here. It's been undefended for a long time. There's the steal. Beautiful. New York is defended. Ohio, RR84. Finally, let's go. And as we get to the latter end of the alphabet, Reagan is entering more states. So Reagan down to 169, but 0 bonuses. We have 176. We can steal California. We can go up in a few smaller EV states. I've only got 20 seconds. I have my swing state money I need to spend, but nowhere really to put it right now. I can just roll that over to the next turn. Arkansas goes to Reagan, but we get California, and that all but ensures we will be here for the rest of the game. It's going to give us oil and gas. It's going to give us, I believe, high tech. Yep. And export. So there goes RR84. Now I can go up in Texas, North Carolina, Kansas, Hawaii, West Virginia. I might leave Massachusetts alone. Let's get into Washington with my bonus funds. Latino and manufacturing and town and gown are the only bonuses that are out there that are taking. Massachusetts does flip purple. And it looks like Reagan is spending in some of the smaller states with us. And there's manufacturing and town and gowns. Latino still out there, but we can get that now on the ballot round with New Jersey. Can try to flip Kentucky, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming with oil and gas, Utah, Oregon, Washington. Going 1-pip because if he does go for a big steal, he likely won't defend at all. I have some swing, some ag, and some just base cash. Give me a little over $100,000 to put it. Maybe I can just get rid of Oklahoma and go for an easier steal of Maryland. Give me some more free cash. Go up in Georgia just a little bit more. And make sure I go up an extra pip in Kansas. So we did spend $467,000. We did lose Idaho. That 1-pip in Kansas worked. And in Maryland, we defended North Carolina. Probably going to defend the Dakotas, but Nevada is lost. Oregon flips purple. And turn 19 is the end of the game. We are going to finish above 400 electorals. Reagan does not end with a bonus. That's a really great game number 2. Thank you, DOS. Thank you, everybody. We're going to try Cupid for the very first time, taking on a Barack Obama. Cupid is a candidate that has 14% bonuses across the board, except it's reversed a 41% youth movement and a 41% women's movement. I'm guessing that the design of the character was to imitate Valentine's Day, and then, of course, Valentine's Day is more popular among youth, among little kids who pass out Valentines, and it's more popular with the women. Women celebrate Valentine's because they get lots of stuff. I personally am not a huge fan of Valentine's Day. My wife has a birthday just 1 week after. So my favorite thing is to do get her flowers the week after Valentine's Day when they're half off to celebrate her birthday. Cupid, we're going up in national groups. Barack Obama is targeting California and New York for high-tech and town and gown. And he's also going big conservative, which is a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for you. Probably not going to go very well. I have a huge influx of cash coming in every turn. He doesn't have any, and when he does get his big conservative bonus on turn number 6 and evangelicals on turn 6, it is going to be a long time before he gets his investment back. I wish I had chose a more competitive game to show Cupid for the very first time, but it wouldn't be the very first time if it wasn't the very first time, so I don't want to lie to you. This is the first time I'm playing Cupid. And so we will go into some other manufacturing states with Texas. So we'll go in Illinois, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. What do you think about Cupid in the comments? Do you think it's good that he's a little bit stronger? We have a new candidate to play with. Personally, I think his picture is a little bit creepy. Not one of my favorite artworks, but again, 270 doesn't have to be completely accurate. It's good to be fun. You can create some fictional and fantasy matchups. Again, I've been calling for more maps to come inside the game of 270 where you can play historical maps, but also maybe different countries or other things. So, again, you know, some things like the presidents, I think, is good to have historically accurate, but then the other candidates like Big Turkey or Easter Egg, you know, or even someone like Meghan Markle or, you know, a non-religious figure like Betty White, it's kind of fun sometimes to dramatize them or focus on features and give them a unique characteristic in the game that makes them a playable candidate. So turn number 10 already, and Barack Obama is defending New York. We're going to go up, and it looks like get the high-tech and Old South bonus. So now we have Latino, oil, high-tech, ag, manufacturing, Old South, export. We have national groups. We can pretty much do whatever we want to on this game. So let's continue to pressure in Arizona. We're going to let Michigan flip, I guess, this time, but that's okay. With California, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia, we will not lose the high-tech bonus. We are going to use our Latino money to go after Arizona. And then Florida is prime for the flipping. Let's go for a Florida steal as well as a Michigan steal. I still have $225,000 of oil and gas that I'm not going to spend. I can use that in the big states if I'm facing pressure, or I can expand into Alaska, the Dakotas, Wyoming, New Mexico, West Virginia. We do have a 10th pit clash in Michigan, but all is not lost because look at all those EVs that I'm gulping up. African American and swing states also go to us. And as we wind down turn number 13, we can just go past Obama by 1 or 2 pips in some of the Old South states. Going to go ahead and fast forward. We have another clash in Michigan. We can clash till the cows come home. We are now going to double pip open states. I don't know if we're quite going to get everything done, but again, when it comes to Michigan, we have the free cash if we want to, so let's do it. We also have New Jersey, Oklahoma, Colorado that we could steal. And Obama spends $290. We did clash in a couple places. So some of those oil and gas states, let's go ahead and just lock those. Seems counterintuitive, but we're going to just get those because he's not in the other states. That'll allow us to defend next turn. We can go up in Mississippi. Don't have enough for Alabama, but he likely won't go there. And then we did go up in New York. Let's get into Vermont and Maine at the second pip so we don't have to later. We do not have a ballot. It looks like we have no one in Wisconsin. But now we can go up to the 10th pip in many states, including a steal of New York by 1 pip. We still have some manufacturing money we could spend, but nowhere to put it. Obama only spends $320, and we are able to steal and lock Colorado. Now face pressure in Minnesota. New York is a successful steal, but Texas flips blue. Facing pressure in Washington. There's the town and gown money, but now we can go up into the 4th pip of Minnesota, lock Washington, go up in Texas, defend New York, and that's going to be a wrap. So Obama does not spend anything, which means that we will get every single state. 538 for Cupid, 0 for Barack Obama. In the next game, I'll be playing as Josh Gottenheimer. Some of you may be wondering, who in the heck is Josh Gottenheimer? He is this guy in 270, who is also a politician in real life, who is friends with Mark Penn. And when you're friends with Mark Penn, you can be put inside the 270 game. So we're going to start in good old swing states. Gottenheimer, whether he deserves it or not in real life, has a juicy 30% swing state bonus. So we can go up in Arizona, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Florida. Again, this is being recorded the early March 2024 days. And so if the swing state glitch has been removed, Arizona counts as double. So this combination will not work forever. I'll need an extra 24K of swing state money in order for me to get the bonus once that update has been fully pushed through. It looks like that my opponent, Donald Trump, is prioritizing oil and gas, which, is a good bonus to have, especially in multiplayer games. But in a 1v1, it's not the best strategy to start off in oil and gas. I have expanded just beyond classic Old South with South Carolina. And so I will already have swing states, and now I will have the Old South bonus. I can go up in Michigan, Georgia, some other African-American states, but I really wanted to prioritize California, especially having Pennsylvania and Michigan for high tech. Also, I don't mind backdooring manufacturing if it comes to it, and I can always pressure oil and gas if I need to, but really at the moment, there is not any reason I can let him have oil and gas. I'll have enough bonuses, especially with ag and with high tech to defend California. And then I can also beat Trump over to New York. So if I want Town and Gown, I can get Town and Gown. However, we do clash in Wisconsin. So instead of going up in Wisconsin and fighting there, I'm going to double pip into Cali. And then I need to get into Ohio and Kentucky in order to make sure I get the manufacturing bonus via Hangman. I'm going to use some of my swing money to get into Nevada. However, I probably will need New Jersey if I want to get the Latino bonus. Didn't have enough money this turn. He did pressure me 2 pips in California, so that forces my hand to spend 1 pip in Cali in defense. But again, I'm not heartbroken because I have the bonus money to do so. He spends again in Cali, and he does get over to New York, as well as a clash in Ohio and Oregon. We're already up to 289 electorals. We have a whopping 277K of AA, 125 of high tech, over $100,000 of Old South, $200,000 of swing states, and $150,000 of free cash. So I can pressure in some of these Latino and oil and gas states like Colorado and New Mexico. I can now go up in Indiana and Kentucky. I can spend over the 3rd pip with my swing money that I've been hoarding in Wisconsin to make sure I get the manufacturing. And if I'm able to get New Mexico and Nevada in New Jersey, I get Latino, which I do. Now I can spend the 4th pip in Ohio, and it looks like Donald Trump will drop out. So I'll edit that part out for you guys. But yes, YTA goes down. That's 25 points for my ranking. Looks like in the public lobby there are 3 games. Let's play 1 more game at least. There's a Biden, so let's join as Donald Trump 2024. And it looks like our old pal YTA has jumped out of our previous game and into the next game. Let's see if he's a more formidable foe in this game. Hopefully he learned something. Biden is a stronger candidate. It looks like he's going to double pip into Florida and also open up into youth vote. So likely going for AA and swing states. The good thing is we do have our Old South bonus, which is going to be uncontested on turn number 2. And since he has the youth vote, let's one-up him and go evangelicals. A little bit more money to spend, but we'll get a higher bonus, even though he gets it 1 turn earlier. Now we can expand into South Carolina and Louisiana for the Old South. We're going to go ahead and clean up our evangelical bonus on turn 3. And it looks like Louisiana's pressured, as well as he's going into AA, especially the Old South. I love it. That means that we can directly compete with him in the states we have bonus money, and he does not. And now I feel comfortable also going up in gun lobby. I can pressure Florida, and then let's go ahead and pressure Arizona since it's an AA state. Looks like he had the same thing in mind. Michigan is going to be one I want to get in next turn. Maybe Tennessee, maybe Illinois. Looking at the map, he has 10% bonuses across the board. We have a little bit higher bonuses, but we also have some penalties. We can open up into big conservative, which is a bit controversial on turn number 5. However, I feel pretty good with my standing in the game, so let's do it. We're going to concede New York to Biden, at least entering into uncontested on turn 5. And now we're going to do the dreaded 1-pip steals. I say dreaded because as an opponent, I get ultra frustrated when someone does this to me. because it's not that great of a strategy, but there's no way he defends here. He needs to go up in New York and also expand, so it was pretty much guaranteed to work, which is why I did it. We get Michigan uncontested, and he does overexpend into New Jersey, which does not give him a bonus. Same thing as last time. There's virtually no world that he defends Florida, and so he does go up in Arizona by 2 pips and steals it from us by 1, but the Florida steal is grand, and that gives us the African-American bonus. Let's lock Arizona. We're going to go up to the 4th pip in Virginia, North Carolina, and some other states that he might steal. Make him go for it. If this were him, this might be a good spot to hit the forfeit button. Hopefully he waits because it's turn number 8, and he did not forfeit. So he could be saving up for a California enter. He could be trying to flip Florida here. Let's go ahead and defend it. Louisiana by a little bit. Mississippi 1 pip. We can enter into oil and gas just in case. And then we're going to save a little bit of our free cash just in case Mr. Biden does not abandon us. Looks like there's another 0 spend. Florida is not defended. Is he going to come back from the grave? No, he's not. He is going to drop out. And that's the game. 307. Good game, YTA. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the button, YTA, so you can learn how to play 270 from one of the most dedicated players. I'm going to call myself the best. There are plenty of good players in the lounge. I might actually make a video one day of my top 10 players that I've ever played against. I don't know if you guys would like to watch that or not, but let's finish off with one more game with some of the S-tier candidates. I'll be FDR again, but this time I'll be playing as Bill de Blasio with that really juicy labor and environment bonus, taking on Abraham Lincoln. Now, I do recognize this player name as well. I don't remember much about his tendencies. I don't take as many notes as I used to when I was a competitive player in the player-run tournaments inside the 270 Lounge. But I do know that Lincoln has a high swing state as well as African-American bonus, and the manufacturing bonus is a great fallback option should he decide to do so. So it is turning into a national groups contest again. One thing that I did was beat him into Old South, but Abraham Lincoln will beat us into California, and that will really put us on guard. Does he go for New York and go for high tech and town and gown and then go for Latino and then AA? Or does he go for Texas and try to get the big oil? I am going to go with the Texas route myself, which is not something I was playing. I was actually, FDR is not really great in Old South, and I was expecting an AA battle, which is why I opened Old South, but you have to pivot. And so the game changed when, the first turn happened, second turn, and so I have decided that the best course of action for me now is to play out of Texas, which is always a good strategy when you're FDR. It looks like that Lincoln is spending 400,000, which is, yes, New York 2 pips and Florida 1 pip. Okay, so he could 3-corner me here, and that will give him high tech, tone and gown, Latino, and I don't think it's export. Nope. He's 1 state away from export. So, but now we can pressure Florida, go up in Tennessee with our manufacturing money, get closer to AA, open up into Delaware and DC, use my Old South money in Mississippi and Arkansas, and that should net me AA. Now, there will be some pressure from Lincoln, who does get Latino. Let's see. Can use my AA money to go up in Delaware and DC. Do I want to defend all out in Arizona? What about Virginia? Let's kind of low spend here. Looks like Georgia has entered into Michigan, North Carolina. So, again, Lincoln is just posturing for a possible move. He did spend a lot in Texas. So, we're going to go ahead and double pip there. Make sure we keep that. North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Michigan. We're going to defend, not heavily, but enough where we can still also go after Florida. And Florida does steal, go blue, but Georgia goes back red. Defense in Michigan. Clean entry into Pennsylvania. So 260 EVs. There's ag. That gives us 6 state groups. We're going to lock Michigan, go up in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Iowa. And Illinois is uncontested. We did lose some EVs, but there's export. Texas is still 2 pips clear. Now we can go after North Carolina, although he likely will defend it. Let's lock Virginia. And then now we can do our double pipping of oil and gas states. We can go up to the 8th pip in Illinois, a couple defense in the oil states of New Mexico and Colorado, and then we're going to slowly defend Ohio. Now we have 35 seconds, so let's enter into some states. We're already above 270 EVs with 274. Again, we have 7 state groups now. We're lacking the high-tech in town and gown. And Latino, as no one has Latino. Up to 402 EVs. Again, nothing's locked in. Or see, not enough EVs are locked in, so we do not have a ballot yet. Excuse me. And we can lock Tennessee. Go up and get Latino. Skip the turn, 428. $56,000 to Latino, to FDR. And now we can pretty much spread out, defend, rinse, repeat. Still $800,000. 4 seconds. 0 spend. 440 to 90 is the final score.